Yesterday, the Senate held hearings on the staggering numbers of diabetes and obesity cases in the United States and how do we increase accessibility to treatments like GLP-1s, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, Victoza, Trulicity, those meds. So real quick, let's go through what we learned. 35 million people in the United States are type 2 diabetic, and 90% of them are classified as obese. 1 in 5 children in the United States is now considered obese, and 40% of adults in the United States are obese. What led to us getting here? Last year alone, big food. Let's talk about the companies that make the salty, fatty, sugary foods that are cheap and readily available. $14 billion on advertising spend alone in the United States last year. $2 billion of that was marketed directly towards our children. And lo and behold, a lot of these big food corporations are corporations that have had controlling interest governed by big tobacco. And big tobacco took all that information that they learned about how to market their cigarettes to young children and started putting that effort into food. And if we don't intervene, these numbers, these obesity numbers, could go up by a staggering 700% in the next 40 years. This is not sustainable. So we need reform in the way that we allow these big corporations to prey on our children, and frankly, us. Now let's talk about the medications and accessibility of the medications. Senator Roger Marshall, I felt, of Kansas, pointed out the biggest glaring issue in accessibility to medications, not just GLP-1s, but all innovative medications that are out there. The PBMs. We need to have PBM reform. The PBMs are honestly just legalized corruption. Big pharma companies pay 10, 20, 30, up to 40% of the cost we pay for the drugs just to be on the formulary. Who needs these PBMs? They are driving the cost of our prescriptions through the roof. They're gatekeeping access to these medications, life-changing medications, and it's all corrupt and it needs to be reformed. Thankfully, in New Jersey, their legislators are taking action already on this issue, but we need reform at the national level. Those are my takeaways from yesterday's Senate hearing. If you like this information, make sure you give me a follow and share this with somebody else who might find it interesting too.